What's good, y'all? Peace. Um, Usually I come up here and I got like a topic or some shit that I like to talk about. Like to meditate on that shit, stuff like that. And I've been coming with a lot of. I know y'all seen the videos I've been coming with. All right, the information, all of that. Um, right now we're in a really, really important time. And I've seen a lot of stuff throughout the collective from different channels and different places. Okay. And right now we're in a time of building. Okay. We're supposed to be building. Okay. And there's a lot of destroyers out there. Okay. And for those who don't know what I mean, okay, I could disagree with you on some things. I could think I'm right on some shit that you're not. Or you could think you're right about some shit that I'm not. And that's okay. But for some fucking reason, that shit's not okay with people. And I've been trying to figure this shit out. Like, what the fuck's going on? Okay. And a lot of us, when we get knowledge, we want to teach, we want to preach, all that shit. And especially coming from me. Alright? That's me. Alright? I've recently caught myself. Okay? Which is why I want to speak on it too. Because this is important. And this isn't beyond any other being. Okay? So, drop the egos. This is some important shit. Okay? Anyway, right now, okay, especially with the atmosphere, shit going on with the food stamps and jobs and AI and wars and all this shit that's going on. All right now with all this shit, okay. People are so focused on the why or the cry about shit. Okay? And then you got the other side that's like fucking hating the fuck out the other side. Okay? So you got one side that's like, we're reliant on the fucking government for shit. And then you got the other side, which is still reliant on the government with other shit, but they feel a freedom with getting a job and doing all this other shit because you do have more access to more shit, right? Because life's a giant contest of just gathering shit up and doing shit, right? That's how the general consensus views what the fuck this existence is and what the fuck we're doing here, okay? Everything in reality is free. The gods, the Satan, the ones in conjunction that made this shit, which is a reflection of some better shit, okay, which is now like a connected step-by-step fucking process and shit, alright? All that shit is made. And that shit's here already. There's already fucking water. Okay? And people find wells, alright? The ancients, people now know the techniques to find fucking wells. Okay? So getting water isn't impossible. Okay? It's laws and shit like that. Okay? That prevent people, or just a lack of knowledge, or a lack of fucking going out and doing that shit. Okay? Food is free. No matter what the fuck, we get it. Especially in America with how they cultivated this shit. Okay, and then, the male plants and the pollen, that's popular now. People know about that shit, okay? Right? But, we could do things like community gardens and stuff. Right now is a time for building and shit like that, okay? You got the other side mad, like, yo, we work hard for our shit. People shouldn't get shit free, blah, blah, blah. And there is a level of abuse to the systems. I get that part. Like, we holding everyone accountable on this side, all right? I'm not leaving no one out, okay? I don't have no dogs in this fight, okay? I'm just here saying what the fuck we gotta do, okay? Because a lot of people like to focus on problems. I like to focus on solutions, and that's just, it is what it is. Like, what the fuck we got to do, okay? As species here existing in this realm, in this symbiotic relationship with the fucking planet and the things that exist in this fucking realm, okay? And we've been kind of toxic, okay? And especially in these times of change, we could change a lot, okay? But for right now, let's stick with what the fuck. Let's unpackage this, what I was talking about, which is, you have two sides to this fucking shit, okay? Where people are either saying this or that, how they feel, and you should have remorse for people who, are less fortunate, no matter what, okay? Because we're victims to these systems that were created, no matter what, okay? You should forgive the ancestors, right? Even though you gotta hold people accountable too, right? So it's not what you did, it's what you do, right? So we could get past shit, but we need to build forward, right? Or, you're gonna be held accountable, right? Because you make choices and you face consequences. That's just the fucking reality of this realm, right? And then you got human intervention where they create laws and then they feel like, they could punish you for shit too. So that's consequences you're gonna have to deal with for actions on whatever the fuck you do. That's just reality. Okay? So, you got another side, and they're like, we work hard, stuff like that. You gotta respect the fact that people put in time and energy for things, and they go out and do things, But there is a reality to things that a lot of this work shit isn't normal either. Okay? Working isn't normal. Alright? As far as beings existing in this realm. Okay? So, as far as the people who are working right now for free and shit and complaining about all this shit, a lot of people are dependent on these fucking systems. Okay? And there's leaders out here and there's things that could be done. Okay? And that's not very beneficial to certain powers. So I see the conflict of interest. Right? But it is what it is. Okay? If they're forcing the hand, like right now, this whole shit seemed like a fucking, not really like an IQ test, but they want to see, like, where people at. They're checking the fucking temperature of the country. Okay? And when they look on that meter, that shit still says soft. Okay? That shit still says, we need you, we need you, we need you. Right? That's some soft ass shit. Respectfully, shit happens. I'm not gonna judge nobody. Right? But the conversation should be building. Okay? Because we're not so dependent as we think if we fucking do something about it. Right? And there's a lot of collective right now that want to help and don't know what to do and are trying to express their creativity in a way that's going to benefit them and the earth. And at this time, it's about fucking building. Okay? Building even within our communities. Okay? Because people have differences. Okay? But it shouldn't matter. Right? So as soon as it's like, and for me, I don't fuck with that religious shit. And I don't fuck with that religious shit. I don't fuck with it. Okay? Respectfully, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to me and my time, what I do, I don't do none of that shit. Okay? If somebody within the collective, when we're having a conversation, if they believe in that shit, I do my best to push them towards their ancestors' shit, no matter what. And I've done a great job of that in my life. Okay? And it hasn't even been that long as far as like pushing people towards their ancestors. I've always given people good advice as far as life or whatever. I've always trying to be a helpful person and shit like that. Okay? But as far as this shit, I've helped a lot of people for the amount of time I've been in this shit, doing the shit that I'm doing. Because for a long time I preach shit, but it's different when you get your feet wet and you actually do it. That's when you see results. Until then, you're just talking shit. And I talked shit for a long fucking time. Okay? So I started walking it and doing it. Alright? So that was better. That's when I got results. Okay? Anyway, there's people out here who want to do things and they can. Okay? And there's ways to do things. And we can all collaborate together. Okay? So just because you believe in some shit and then I believe in some shit, instead of attacking the shit that I don't fuck with, let's fucking build. Right? So I caught myself doing that. Then I thought about it. And then since then, it's just been like, maybe like a month or two. I've just been sitting back and I've been watching. I've been listening. Okay? And it don't go for everybody because some people are building. Okay? Right? If it's not you and it doesn't resonate, then it's not fucking you. Okay? But there's a lot of people not building out here and they're destroyers. Okay? And they actually have good information. Sometimes. But they're fucking destroyers. Okay? And if you catch yourself doing that, just catch yourself and change it. Okay? Because I call myself too. And that don't mean I'm a destroyer either. Or I was. But you could destroy. And you could do it. It's a thing. Okay? So some people are destroyers and some people aren't destroyers. But sometimes they destroy within conversations. Okay? It's okay. All's forgiven. But right now is a time where we need to build. We need to build together. Build communities. We need to build positive shit. Okay? We need to build with our creativity. Okay? And with our knowledge. We need to put our knowledge in our motherfucking art. Okay? And within that shift is going to shift. Okay? Especially when you start communicating to the youth. You start creating shit for them to help them. Okay? Because the more youth that are exposed to being able to be them real selves, like their real selves, like what their soul came to do, like not in the motherfucking being, motherfucking telling them what to do, right? But unlocking that creative motherfucking genius for them to figure out what the fuck they was here to do and how they could affect this motherfucking planet and themselves and their soul's journey in a positive motherfucking way, okay? And the more souls that are out here doing what the fuck they're supposed to do, is the more motherfucking the earth will resonate with that frequency as well, and then it'll help actually spark more motherfucking people and thoughts to be on that motherfucking frequency. Okay? And it'll actually change the whole planet. It'll change the life on this planet too. The animals that's here, there'll be more high vibrational motherfucking animals and motherfucking everything. Okay? But there's certain systems that they want to keep that shit down. And we know about it. Okay? The shit that they're doing with the sun and shit like that. Okay? That's been an ongoing thing for thousands of years. Okay? Because this planet used to be swampy. And that was it. Alright? Like a swamp. See what I mean? That's not fucking cold. But, especially now with the solar maximum and the sun, and they talk about 2024 was the hottest year, right? And then America had that crazy ass winter, right? It was still the hottest year, right? So, the planet right now is going back to the climate that it's supposed to be. Okay, and they're doing their best with their weather their weather modifications and their fucking machinery and shit like that. Okay, they're doing their best, okay, to keep the planet's temperatures down and all that shit. Okay, because that has to do with our frequency too. Okay, so the more that we rise is the more the planet rises. And it just so happens that there's cycles to the motherfucking universe and all that shit just all happens at the same time. Okay, so we just happen to be in that time, right? So our duty is our duty to do what we do, okay? Because a lot of our ancestors have been slayed and killed and motherfucking ridiculed and had to be in the shadows, do all types of shit, been called all types of pagans and witches and fucking every motherfucking thing, right? Just for motherfuckers who are doing shit in the shadows and doing it in a weird ass way, right? So that stigma getting painted onto the people doing it now, it's like this shit is an ongoing thing that has been going on for many, 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 many generations, and it's been an attack. Okay, and a lot of people are saying, if you don't know now, then you'll never know because the information's so out there, and da da da. I believe that it starts from the youth. Okay, so the fact that there's more youth right now that are interested in these type of topics proves that wrong. Okay, because the more the preaching is going on, the more shit's being out there, the information being exposed more. Okay, and a lot of times people don't have time, right, because of all these distractions that are created, right, which we could in a way change that, right? Because everybody personally could change their stuff, right? Like I could be an example of that. People want to take me as an example of that, right? There's other people that are examples of that, right? Everybody could do, right? And then there's people who have more options or exposed to more things in other places than other people, right? But ultimately anyone could do anything, right? And that's like been proven, right? And if people feel like it hasn't, that's cool. Like there's science for that, and not everybody got the time, right, to study that. So it's important for the teachers to teach, right? And we gotta not spread hate. Okay, we gotta start building and collaborating together, right? Because it doesn't cost money to support people, right? And then you could, right? So there's avenues where you could support people financially, right? Whether it's their businesses or you could just support their pages and shit, give them the views, give them the shares, give them the whatever, right? Right now, it's very important to do that for people, okay? Do it for people. Do unto those that you want done for you, okay? Do that for people, all right? And that isn't even me asking y'all to do that for me. I'm saying y'all do that for the people that are teachers within y'all motherfucking spaces that you feel should be exposed and get that recognition, or just for the people you see doing their thing, give them their light, even if you don't agree necessarily with what they're doing or what they're saying, okay? Because right now, shit's not gonna get better as far as a system. The system the system you grew up knowing, the system you want to motherfucking be is not gonna be, okay? A lot of people aren't even gonna have their jobs in a few years. Some people disagree with me. It is what it is. I'm saying that in a few years, there isn't gonna be jobs like that. Maybe some skilled shit besides that. Them AIs and them robots is gonna take over everything. And for those people who are just, placing all their eggs in this basket of a thing called a job, and they're not working, a motherfucking at least a half hour a day, an hour a day. Like you got 24 hours in your day, and I get it. You gotta sleep 8, let's say, right? And you got another 16, right? And then work wants to take 8 to 10. Let's say 8, right? Let's be nice, right? So you only got 8 hours left. A lot of people have kids. A lot of people have a life. A lot of people have to travel to work. That's not travel time. Let's say an hour, right? A lot of people have to travel 2 hours. Let's say an hour, right? You have 7 hours. You haven't seen your kids. You haven't eaten. You haven't showered. You haven't did nothing, right? So a lot of people don't have the time to put into these things. But if you're going to put in 8 hours a fucking day to make someone else rich, and you won't put an hour or 2 into yourself, into your fucking business ventures, right? Your creative motherfucking endeavors, okay? Because your soul creatively wants to express itself to help initially, right? And then because of your motherfucking archetype and because of like your experiences and shit like that, that shapes, in your past lives, that shapes what the fuck or how the fuck you want to express that fucking that emotion or feeling, okay, that knowledge, right? And there's many ways to express art. You could fucking draw, you could fucking sing, you could write, okay? You could be creative with your hands and build, create shit, fucking knit, fucking there's so many ways to be creative. And then there's a message, right? And then there's a knowledge, right? And then there's a way to create with that. Okay, so a good example is shit like old structures. Like you could even use Giza pyramids. You could even fucking use shit like the old paintings and stuff, how they use sacred geometry. You could see the proportions and how they used to paint. It's knowledge in motherfuckers' art, whatever the fuck it is. You see what I mean? And that's the shit that motherfucking helps. And that's what your soul wants to do. Okay? Your soul wants to help. And you might not necessarily know how. Or you might not know that you have the power to affect things so much. Right? And if you don't think something small has a big effect, then try sleeping in a tent with a mosquito all night. Okay? Seriously. Alright? Now picture 1,000,000 mosquitoes. Right? There's ways to affect shit. And then there's systems that's in place. Right? And then there's times and means. Right? So, is now the right time? Is then the right time? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Is Earth worth fighting for? Is this worth fighting for? Is this your home? Right? Are we too attached to the physical? Are we just going spiritual? There's shifts that's going to happen no matter what. And then there's going to be people who are here to help, or people who are just here to take, and run through this experience again, like the rent cycle and shit like that. And for those who want to know, they ponder the kind of questions like, is there a time where everything is motherfucking unified, or is there a motherfucking time where basically like, one outnumbers the other? So right now you could say the motherfucking most of the world isn't doing what the fuck they were sent here to do, right? Is there a time where that's the percentage is more than the less, right? Is it the ebb and flow? Is there ever a time where it's all that? You see what I'm saying? Or is it just about balance? So right now I've seen a lot of people destroying. Not everybody, right? Some people. And it's honestly sad for this time. It's not going to help push anything forward. Okay? So I just came here to tell people that it's time to build. It's time to build. It's time to create. It's time to work together. And motherfucking everyone's been saying that since the dawn of time. So what the fuck does that even mean? Who knows? Who knows what that means? But the change in your life don't start till you make that fucking change. So you'll never know until you do that shit. Alright? I don't support a lot of people. So I'm good. Like, I'm good. People me, I help them. And I know my limits of giving out energy. If someone's giving and taking, I know my shit. And I know I'm not untouchable. No one's untouchable, right? So shit's always gonna happen, right? So there's lessons to be learned. It's people to fucking help. And it's not just people. We gotta help the fucking earth. Okay? So people are just helping people, like, that's good. That's cool. Right? There's no hate. I'm not gonna destroy. But what I'm saying is, let's help the earth. Right? Let's help the earth too. Right? And it starts by helping yourself. Right? Anyway, y'all, for the last few months, I ain't even been working out like that. I'm gonna be real. I just started working out like the last week or two, some shit like that. I started and stopped, but I've been consistent. Okay. Working out every day. Studying every day. Working on myself, the inner me. Okay. Now I got a bunch of creations I didn't have before. Okay. So when I first started this channel, I ain't have the creations I have now. And this channel was what I had. Right? these platforms I've created, right? And the more I creatively thought how to make money for myself off of these things, it never took off like that. You know, like the ideas, nothing sparked. You could feel the resistance, you know, because right now isn't the time to do shit for that. All right, you'll get that, and by all means get that. Get as much of that, right? Because abundance comes in many forms. We talk about gold, currency, motherfucker, all types of abundance, all forms of abundance. We all accept that because we all resonate that because we're all that. We're all born into that divinely. Okay? And if you don't feel that, that's just your negative frequencies that's inside you attacking you. Okay? And you need to attack that back. Alright? I was a victim to that for many years. Okay? Super many years. Alright? Blaming other people for shit. And the universe did protect me and save me from a lot of shit. I didn't have to do shit that a lot of people have to go through. That's why I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful and grateful for the position I'm in, for the shit that I went through and shit, you know, and a lot of people should feel that way no matter what. Okay, especially in these times, really reflect on where you was and where you at. The way you think, things that you have around you, the energies that used to be around you that are not. Be grateful. Alright. Besides for that, that's just the messages I came on today. I just wanted to talk about building and destroying and what's going on and really hopefully inspire whoever watches this to take action on that thought. Okay? Because it's very important. Alright? And this is a timeless message because we should always be building and not destroying. Okay? But at this time, at the cusp of all this fucking shit going on, alright, for them to pull a motherfucking play like that, right? Motherfuckers should be like, fuck your shit. We gonna do these community gardens, alright? We getting these engineers and shit. We getting these electricians. We doing our own shit, alright? We doing this water. We doing that whole, fuck y'all. We don't need your shit. Fuck all y'all shit, alright? That's the response that is going to push everything forward. Everybody, every person. Because as soon as you're not reliant upon this system and shit, is when you're truly free. Right? So people are chasing freedom, it exists. Alright? And that whole off the grid shit, as soon as you off the grid, you on the grid. Alright? So, you know, there's certain battles that gotta be fought before certain things get changed. But in the end of the day, there's still things that could be done. Alright, and people could live a comfortable lifestyle, not be motherfucking dependent on shit. Alright? So there's steps to everything, there's levels to everything. Everything could get done. Okay, but it takes steps. Alright? And we gotta take these first steps before we take the next steps. Alright? So that's the message for today. Alright? I love that people even give me their time and watch my shit. I appreciate y'all 100%. I was sent here to give divine messages to people, right? I was here to inspire people and be informative, okay? And to help heal people, all right? Because there's motherfucking ways to heal yourself, because I did it, all right? And I'll show y'all. I'll show anyone who want to fucking know, all right? Besides for that, have a good day, y'all, and let's build. Peace.